Thank you. Yeah, it was. This is the first time I'm being in a lightning round. So to speak about what we're doing that's brand new with technology in 5 minutes or less is going to be interesting. So I picked, the biggest, bestest thing that I could talk about, and that is cognitive computing. So cognitive computing and advanced analytics being brought into agriculture is really cutting edge. I mean, this is something new. It's the one topic that I thought, would engage you guys and give you a little bit of a teasing element. Ultimately, this is going to allow farmers and agribusinesses to do more and more, responding proactively instead of reactively. And there's this big question then around what in the world does this mean, this idea? This is kind of a big term, cognitive computing. Okay, so what is cognitive computing? So in 4 minutes or less now, cognitive computing, really more and more, it falls under a lot of different names out there. Some of you would have heard it described as artificial intelligence. We like to call it augmented intelligence, because what's happening here is that IBM is on the cutting edge, and the weather company being part of IBM now, of using advanced machine learning to process tons and tons of data, big data, quickly in a variety of ways, including natural language processing, so the ability for machines to interface with humans, the ability for machines to interface with imagery, PDF documents, think about USDA reports, to interpret all this data, including tons of historical data, in a way that is then correlated, it learns from it, and then it can guide or advise, okay, or predict outcomes that are better than what we can do today. Okay? So this is not the evil robot story, about artificial intelligence and HAL 2000, anything along those lines. This is augmented intelligence that should make human interaction much better. Okay? So this is kind of a busy slide, but let me just kind of break this down real quick. So a look at what cognitive computing, really can do. It starts out with the ability to ingest a lot of data, both structured and unstructured data. So when you hear about that, well, what does that even mean? Think about the ability for machine learning to talk with you and hear what you're saying, process that, learn from it, okay? Including even the tone of your voice. Are you angry? Are you happy? All right, think about that with a farmer, right down to the farm field level. And this is not, not rolled out yet. I mean, this is being done right now in all kinds of industries, but it really hasn't made it yet to agriculture. One of the reasons we're here talking about this. Here's a look at something called Watson Advisor. So maybe this is another AKA, another way of describing the word cognitive computing. More and more, I think that cognitive computing is going to be a household name under the word Watson. Okay, so you would see this already. I mean, it's being used in the healthcare industry to diagnose very complex, advanced health cases. Think cancer diagnoses, for example, and all the forms and genetics that cancer can take. Now think about that parallel in a positive light about what that means in the farm field, about the complexities of the genomes, the conditions, the sprays that you're using under what types of environmental conditions. The ability to diagnose that quickly with a vast historical context, okay, that's been ingested, correlated, broken down, and then machine learning that interacts with the user at the end of the day and understands and learns from that and then can make a diagnosis from it. Okay, you would have seen that if you were watching the Super Bowl. H&R Block is now using that to interact and better develop engagement with their customers. Campbell's Soup, another one. Okay, so how does the weather fit into that? So we're known for doing big weather data at very high resolution at the farm field level, 500-meter resolution, from a variety of massive ingestive sources. Okay? And so for us then to combine that with Watson, right, the ability for Watson to diagnose weather conditions, including right down to the farm field, is really where we're headed. So that is the new technology. That is where we're headed. Okay? And that's really all about precision. So as we move into precision ag, and I keep hearing this morning more and more about how difficult it is to transmit and make something out of this data, vast amounts of data quickly. That's where we're headed, both on the weather side and just with all conditions on the agricultural field. Okay, so how's that in 5 minutes or less? Good? Incredible. All right. Thank you, guys.